Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk with Jensen. Presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Oak Knoll, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City community for 59 years. Also brought to you by Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Also brought to you by University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by your local Ford dealers. Here's Rob Brooks.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Unlike last Thursday.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Unlike last Thursday at Maryland, there was no fighting off a comeback for Iowa women's basketball at Carver Hawkeye Arena yesterday. The 10th-ranked Hawkeyes led by as many as 23 points in the second half, enrolling to a 91-70 victory over number 12 Ohio State. Yeah, give it up for Coach Jan and the Hawks. Freshman Addie Deal came to the rescue when senior guard Taylor McCabe injured a knee. We'll talk about that more in a minute. And the California kid dropped in 20 points. That's the most for a freshman since some lady named Caitlin back in 2021. I'm going to have to research and see who that is. I don't have a last name. Deal added 5 assists and 3 rebounds. And the reigning National Player of the Week, Hannah Stolke, and center Ava Hayden dominated the lane as the Hawks try these numbers on, try this size on. The Hawks out-rebounded the Buckeyes 48-30. Stolke scored 18 points, absolutely mauled the glass for 15 rebounds. Hayden tallied 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 steals. And Hayden hit 9 of 11 shots and had 8, and now is working on 8 straight double-figure games as the Hawks head west to take on USC and then UCLA. But we're going to talk about Ohio State in the past week. I feel a little bit like Jay Leno, Joey Bishop, let's see, who else? David Brenner, who filled in for Johnny Carson more often than not all these years. But this is not Rob Brooks.
You are Johnny Carson, I tell you what. No question about that.
I am Gary Dolphin, though. And
he is Gary Dolphin, absolutely, folks. Absolutely. This is our first show together, I think.
Yeah. I put the headset on backwards tonight. I got to readjust and figure this out. But Rob Brooks, who normally sits in this chair, of course, Rob, the voice of Hawkeye women's basketball, had some important personal business that he's out of town addressing. So he asked if I could fill in. I said, well, Jensen, absolutely. Look forward to it. This takes me back to the old iClub banquet circuit days when we
had some good times in those early days.
Oh, man. Council Bluffs.
Carroll. Oh boy, that's near God's country. Elkhorn, Kimmelton, not too far.
Sioux City, Sioux Center. That's not Spencer. That's not far from
Not far.
And you and Ed Podolak used to get going because Atlantic and I think Elkhorn were right across the interstate from each other.
We were a little. We had rivals there. Absolutely.
And you were just a lowly assistant coach then when you were on that.
That's right. That was right. But you made me feel like I was not. Everybody that was on those iClubs, I tell you what. And, you probably should have brought us a few more drinks to listen to that material.
I still roll out the bad A jokes, as I call it. Of course, we only do maybe what? COVID changed everything.
It did change it.
Yeah.
And I think we need to address, I know a lot of folks in those smaller communities, they miss us coming. But
sure.
As with COVID, we learned a lot of things, right? And it's it's harder to get out there, and we can be as efficient and time and with recruiting with different coaches' schedules, and so we try to make it a little more regionally correct. And
we did
try to bring some folks in, but we appreciate all your support. But I know it did change, and I do miss you, Dolph. I miss those bad jokes. Actually,
great to see you, Coach.
I do.
I regurgitate them about every 3 years because you have a new crowd. Just so you folks understand. Back in the day, and I'm talking late 90s, early 2000s, we would do 22 iClub outings. We'd be going around Kansas City and then all around the state of Iowa, every corner, and usually Lisa or Jan switched off, and Coach Ferentz and
one of the men's coaches.
Norm Parker and Coach Alford or Coach McCaffrey or Coach Licklider.
And it was really, we enjoyed it. I think sometimes when we had to break those off of the, some of the communities, it was once you got there. I mean, look at this radio group right here. I mean, how grateful. I'm so thankful for all of you guys showing up every week. But and that's thank you so much. But when we go to these communities, it was really great, right? But it just the times are changing. But it was fun to be with Kirk on a plane or driving there, and with Norm Parker and all the people, right?
What I enjoyed is I would just kind of sit there as a fly on the wall and listen to all these coaches talk to each other about recruiting, about GPAs and APRs and all these acronyms. Yeah, and it was phenomenal. Theater. It'll all be in my book.
Yeah, I can't wait. I want a signed copy when that comes out, Dolph. I bet all these people do too.
My tell-all book. But no, so COVID happened, and then recruiting. I mean, used to be I want to, the recruit would come to campus. I want to see the Tippy Business School. Now it's how much are you going to pay me? And I get it.
Changed.
That's the way the world has changed. So recruiting's 24/7 now, and so the time is just not available. But we still we probably do a half a dozen.
We do. Yep.
A half a dozen
sure
iClub outings, and it's still a lot of fun. But anyway, we don't need to trip through history, but it's great to see you and great to sit next to you and interview you here for the next hour. And what about yesterday? Before we talk about Taylor, what about yesterday? How do you encapsulate that? It's one thing to get a lead on a team. You're playing the 12th ranked team in the country. And you know how Coach Kevin and that team has been solid for a number of years, and you never blinked. You never flinched.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the most complete games we played all year. And, I just got to credit our amazing Carver home court crowd. Boy, you guys were with us every step of the way. But I think what I was most proud of and just grateful for is, sadly, Taylor got hurt with 23 seconds into that game. And we had a really quick turnaround to decide who we were going to be and how we were going to do. And I just the way that team responded and didn't bat an eye. And Taylor is just such an incredible leader, a senior, and she's a great player. And there's many reasons why Taylor was in that starting lineup. And the fact that we had such a short time to regroup, and then they were able to perform like they did. I'm really hopeful that's a foreshadowing of all that is still yet to come. But I thought the key was we handled the press, and we didn't early, right? It was 8-2, and then we had a couple turnovers, and then we started to remember the play and the pattern we wanted to do. And then, we were just so doggone tough-minded. So I was just thrilled. I was so happy for them. And as I've told the team, I said, they really deserve all these great things that are happening, because when we formed in June, I thought we had a shot. And then you learn a lot. And then when the fall hit, there was a moment in the fall when I just started to see that maybe let's see. And boy, when they started to come together, you just get a feel for a team and I think what they could be. And, we've created a few breaks and we've gotten a few breaks. So I'm really pleased and thankful.
You mentioned the 8-2 early hole, 12-0 run. Mm-hmm. And you started to turn them over, but the boards were huge. And you knew you could hurt them inside.
I did, because I thought that was key. And we're, Ava Hayden, Big Ten Player of the Week, named it this year, or this week.
Today.
She's still so young and so much growth left. But boy, when Ava gets on that confidence side of things, she can really do some damage. And I felt like as we could get her the ball, I just felt like we had the advantage there. And then with Hannah, they were switching 1 through 4 screens, meaning the point guard position to the power forward. And I felt like whenever we got the right switch, then I wanted to spread it out and try to hit it into Hannah. And, just about every time we were able to kind of capitalize on that. So I think our players, of all the games this season, I thought their attention to detail in the game plan was exceptional.
And Addie Deal was the trigger person. She, you got to have somebody that is the drink stir that gets the offense into where they should be through all those switches. And she has matured so much just in the last 2 weeks. But I know you've seen it every day.
Yeah, she really has. And I know there's always a debate like, she could have been doing this from the beginning. But, the growth of the game as far as it's bigger, faster, stronger. When high school players come in, the speed and the strength is so fast. And the ability for her, I credit her to be patient because she had to weather a lot of that pressure. But learning and growing and understanding, the wins and the why and the angles and the, not yet, you want to make that pass here but not there. And, I just think our upperclassmen did such a great job really, showing her the way, and she was patient. And so the last month she's been doing really, really great and growing by leaps and bounds. And I think that was a huge reason. Addie's confidence and her belief in the process is she was more than ready. And, she's been playing more and more minutes and handling every situation. But to come in just like that after 23 seconds and no one batted an eye, Addie was a huge, huge part of that.
Coach, I love how physical she plays. I mean,
she's a big guard.
She engages contact and plays through it. Never loses the ball, rarely loses the ball, and always head up looking for an open team.
Yeah, she's just a kind of a 3-level scorer, and and she'll continue to get better and better as we continue our player development, but also with some game action. But the growth from June to now and what will be a year from now. They're facing so much more complicated defense and great ball handling or great defenders on the ball handler. And so she's really navigating different situations, and we'll continue to do that, especially in our next couple of road trips or next 2 games on our road trip. But she's standing tall and she's leaning into the moment, and I'm really, really proud of her.
You're up 16 at halftime, built the lead to 23. What impressed you most about the second half? It's one thing to get the lead against a top 15 team. It's quite another to keep it and sustain it. They're going to make a run, or you assume they are. You didn't let that happen.
Yeah, we talked a lot at halftime. Just the Big Ten is, on both sides of it, men and women. It just filled with a lot of great teams, with a lot of great players, and no one lays down and dies, right? You just, we held their key player, Kylie Furbach's a heck of a defender. She held Jelani Cambridge, number 22, to 7 points in the first half. But Kylie was disappointed. She had 23 in the second half. But the fact of the matter is we stymied them that first half, right? And you kind of got them on their heels. And just the fact of the matter that we knew that they were going to come out and you're probably going to see a team, if you can hold in that third quarter, you're going to get desperation mode. And when desperation mode happens with a team that can shoot the three as well as they can, that's what makes the coach really nervous, is you can't just really, you know that their 22 was a lot like, ours, right, back in the day. Is like they just take over a game and they will not be denied. And so we had to really pay special attention to the supporting cast. So we chose to make sure that no one else got crazy. We knew what their 22 was going to do, and I knew we had to rebound, and obviously the team was able to do that.
How do you explain Iowa 33-3 in bench points? That has to make you maybe the most proud of any stat.
Absolutely. And that's just a team. Yeah, thanks for that. The kids just, I think what makes Iowa basketball special is the acknowledgement that two things can be true. I said this in my presser after the game. Everybody that plays on our bench and plays on our team, everybody wants to play 45 minutes out of 40. That's who you recruit. Mm-hmm. They want to play. They want to be a part of it. And when you recruit them, you ask them and say, hey, we believe in you. You're my kind of player, our kind of player. We believe that you could really contribute, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. So a lot of them come and they say yes, but they're so driven they want to be the part of it, right? So then you come, and all of a sudden there has to be a lot of recalibration. And it's like, oh, man, I'm not a starter. Oh, man, I'm only playing this many minutes. Oh, man, I don't get in very much. But when you get a team that can be kind of disappointed they're not maybe, chit-chat playing 35 out of 40, but yet they are the first ones waving the towel and high-fiving and chest bumping when the big play happens, that's when you know you have something. And so for the fact that these players that came off the bench, whether it was 2 points or, Addie came off the bench, right? So that's a little skewed because she has 20, but they're ready for their moments. And that's, I think, that all of us that coach, men, women, every level, junior high to the pros, you're trying to get everyone to buy in and be ready for that moment. Because when your moment happens, it may be really important. Take Tegan Mulaney last night. She played 2 minutes. She had 2 assists that were really important because the lead was 18. It kind of got down there to 12 and then went back up. Is like she gave us 2 assists, 4 points in that 2 minutes. She may think that's insignificant, but in the course of a whole game, when you can count on someone, that's really, really important.
Stremlow with 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Oh. She's a grinder. She's a bouncer.
She is a bouncer.
Call her a bouncer.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. She would be a heck of a bouncer.
She would be. Don't want to mess with her.
That's right. I want her outside the bar, no, not inside of it, right?
For sure. At the door.
Absolutely.
Well, that depth is going to be important going forward. Sadly, released late this afternoon that Taylor McCabe, outstanding senior, leading three-point shooter, she sustained a season-ending ACL injury in that game yesterday, and she will undergo surgery and miss the remainder of the year. And she's so much more than a three-point shooter. Most seniors are,
yep.
especially
she is.
her caliber.
And she's just a steady leader. And those seniors, they know what you want, how you want it. And she became a really great defender. Most people don't know, but if you follow the box scores, and I'm not the – everybody asks me, are you a big analytics coach, and are you more motion? And I'm probably right in the middle. But with the analytics side of it on a box score, you'll see plus minus, right? What the plus minus is, it's kind of to dumb it down, it's like all the minutes they're in with every combination they're in against who they're playing. If they're a plus minus, whether, you want to be in the plus. Taylor McCabe was always our highest plus minus, meaning no matter what combination she was in with, no matter what happened, she was always really efficient. She was taking care of the ball. She was defending. She was scoring it. And she was also this steady. Number one, she's an engineer major. And if you know engineers, they're pretty much right here, right? Not the stereotype. But she didn't get too high. She didn't get too low. She was always, like, managing. And just a really highly respected kid. And then, she could shoot the dagger threes. And I told her last night, after the MRI, she came over to the office. I was still there as well as Coach Stamp was. We kind of cried it out. And, Taylor doesn't have too many shooting slumps, but prior to the Maryland game, she was shooting about 30%, and she doesn't usually shoot under 35, and her standard is 40 or more. But she hit 50% at Maryland. So I was so happy that she, none of us knew that would have been her last competitive three-point or game. And I'm so thankful that she got to end with a really, really important game and helped us to victory.
She's tied with Christy Smith for the best three-point shooting percentage in school history, almost 41%.
Absolutely. And, who knows how it would have played out, but I love Christy. Christy, we coached her too, but I think she would have pushed that a little bit. She was definitely on a mission, and I wish all of you could have heard her speech today when she gave, she wanted to wait and tell the team actually at practice. She didn't want to do it through a text last night, so I honored that, and we held the press release till later, and it kind of gets me choked up thinking about it because it's the kind of coaches, it's the kind of players that you coach. But she was just able to really succinctly talk about how she was still going to be there and how special the game was to her. And now that she couldn't be there, she kind of basically hoped she was an example. Not example, but like knowing that I'm going to be with you. And I'm going to be helping you even though I can't play. And it was just everything you'd want a player to share. Because everybody can, we all can get in our own thing. It's a bad day. I don't get to play. Poor me. And all of a sudden, it can be taken from you just like that. And it's a reminder that, boy, I need to kind of try to find that glass half full.
Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the ride.
Absolutely.
So Fremont, Nebraska, stand up and take a bow for
absolutely.
Civil engineering
Amen.
major Taylor. She'll be waving the flag now. And
did you know that her sister plays at Drake?
And I heard she was injured
within 90 minutes.
Yesterday?
And God bless her dad, Ryan. They have two younger brothers. He was watching them at an indoor track meet in Nebraska. And they usually try to spread out. And when you got 4 kids, it's kind of hard.
Sure.
He had to watch both those injuries on TV. Can you imagine?
Boy. No,
and I talked to both of them last night, but the gut wrenching, you're hoping against hope, but you're seeing your kid. And just like I knew when I saw Taylor, sometimes you just know. And I was like, because she's so doggone tough. But that family, you just love your kids so much. And two seasons in likely and a career in. So my prayers are out to the McCabes. There's
sure.
not a better family out there.
And how often do you see non-contact injuries end a year or put you out for significant time? It's just
so tough.
Herky-jerky move. And basketball, football is a violent contact sport.
Yeah,
basketball,
absolutely.
Just a wrong move. I know you can shred your Achilles stepping off a curb.
Right.
But it's just almost unfair.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that family, within 90 minutes, ironically, another random thing, the Peyton McCabe at Drake and their Drake coach, Allison Pullman's a friend of mine. We talked last night. It was a weird football mosh pile, when you're kind of a scrum, but she got in for a ball and her foot got
twisted
caught.
in the wrong way.
So that's random. That doesn't happen on the court. And
really.
Then you have the opposite. So it was just a really just sadly ironic, crazy thing that happened.
Well, we know they're tough-minded, and we wish you all the McCabes
absolutely
the best. Well, we're going to take our first break here before
great.
the show runs out. I know you got to go high-five people.
I'm going to go high-five these great people.
Right.
You
Please
better
do.
believe it.
Thank
They're
you
the
all for
best.
coming out tonight. I'm Gary Dolphin, subbing in for Rob Brooks with Coach Jensen. I'll be here for the next show, too. Coach McCullum will be here. The Hawkeye men are on a roll as well. So lots of goodies to talk about tonight. I do want to welcome our friends from MediaCom here for televising our program throughout eastern Iowa and central Iowa. There's a number of ways you can reach us to ask Coach Jensen a question. On Twitter, @Iowa_Learfield or hashtag Hawk Talk. On Facebook, facebook.com/HSP Learfield. That's Hawkeye Sports Properties. Facebook.com/HSP Learfield. We've got some U.S. Cellular texters. The text line is open at 319-853-8344. Or email us your question to hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. We're brought to you tonight by our friends at Mediacom as well as U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeyes, and U.S. Cellular wants you to know that you can make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Our primary sponsor is Oak Knoll. As always, Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Oak Knoll. Oak Knoll's mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City area for 59 years. Oak Knoll is conveniently located near the University of Iowa Healthcare Campus, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, and downtown Iowa City. A proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Visit oakknoll.com and learn more. We'll talk more with Jan Jensen. Take your questions in a minute on Hawk Talk from the beautiful, newly remodeled Hyatt Regency in the Watermill Kitchen and Bar right after this from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Ben McCullum. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Save time when you shop online with Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee makes it easy to order groceries online through our app or Hy-Vee.com. Pickup is always free. And if you have a Perks Plus membership, you get free delivery and free express pickup. Shop online with Hy-Vee and you can create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Talk about convenience. Order groceries online today. Check out Hy-Vee.com or download the Hy-Vee app.
RE/MAX is the official real estate partner of Iowa Athletics, and we understand there's a number for everything: square footage, down payment, interest rates. But how do you measure the trust you have in your agent? For a RE/MAX agent, it's not about numbers on a contract. It's being a trusted RE/MAX agent. That means you'll get honest advice, expert guidance, and someone who's committed to your success. Because while numbers count, trust is what truly matters. RE/MAX, the official real estate partner of Iowa Athletics. Each office independently owned and operated.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Jan Jensen. I'm Gary Dolphin filling in for Rob Brooks tonight. Hawkeye sophomore Ava Hayden and freshman Addie Deal both earned weekly honors from the Big Ten today. Hayden was named Player of the Week, and Addie Deal notched her second consecutive Freshman of the Week. Way to go, Hawks. Deal and Hayden now have led the Hawkeyes, along with Hannah Stolke, of course, to 3 consecutive wins over AP top 15 opponents: Michigan State, Maryland, and Ohio State yesterday in a Sunday-to-Sunday stretch. that have the Hawks at 18 wins on the year, an undefeated 9-0 in the Big Ten with top 5 ranked UCLA. Hawks are number 8 on the new poll out this afternoon. So congratulations. Lots of accolades all over for Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball. And, of course, the Hawks head to Southern Cal and UCLA this week. They'll take off for a couple of games on the West Coast where they get to collide head-to-head with UCLA. But first it's USC. And we'll get the scouting report from Coach in just a minute. But, Jan, as you can imagine, Facebook, text messages, Twitter, it's filling up tonight. So I don't want to show prejudice, but Gary's checking in, so I'm going to go to Gary first for obvious reasons.
You bet.
Coach, can you talk about 2027 recruiting, such as how many players you're looking to bring in? What positions are you trying to fill? Best wishes to Taylor McCabe and a speedy recovery. She's a great Hawk. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, Gary, thank you so much. I can't mention the 27s by name, but we have had some good news with a guard that I really am excited about. And we'll probably be looking to sign 3 to 4 in that class. I love the visits that we've had. I love the visits that are coming. We have some great interest, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. But I'm thrilled for what we've already have had happened in the class of 27. But I can't mention the 27 by name. I can only talk about the kids that have signed.
Understood. That Tiger Hawk logo's got that national draw to it. Let's go out to Eugene, where Mark on Facebook says, congrats, Coach, on 3 big wins over ranked teams. Can you talk about how Layla Hayes has been progressing and what her next steps are in her continuing development?
Yeah, I'm really excited about Layla. She's a typical true freshman, and she's about on pace. She's learning how big and physical the game is. But she's really, the last couple of games, I think, given us some really nice minutes, especially yesterday. Got a little bit of foul trouble again at Maryland. But yesterday she had a beautiful reverse layup. She had 2 assists in the time that she was in there. But she's doing well. I got to keep her confidence up, and the game is so fast for her. But I love that kid, and she's working hard, and I think we're going to see her trajectory continue to go up and up and up.
Appreciate the insight there, Mark, out in Eugene, Oregon. The Hawks, of course, played Oregon just recently. Here's one with no name on it. Coach Jay, I want to commend the ladies for improving on not letting the Buckeyes going on an always dangerous run. It appears your attention to controlling pace has helped. Any other insight on keeping any opponent from getting on that run, getting out of hand? Well, that's paying attention to the scouting report.
Sure is.
Right?
Absolutely. The key with Ohio State, I think, when you are able to stay competitive with them and not even win, you have to handle their full court pressure, which can be pretty intense. And at the beginning of the game, we didn't do that as well. We also have to minimize as quickly and well that they can score. That Jelani Cambridge, number 22, is as good of a guard as there is in the country. Her running mate, number 2, is Chance Gray. And I thought Chit Chat and Kylie did exceptional. But who also did exceptional was Ava Hayden. We had Ava Hayden as a helper, and she had to sag off at the appropriate times and, work to make it the lane look so open, but then she had to recover back to her center. And I thought her help coverage was great. So we did have to pay attention to detail. We did a pretty good job, much better job taking the ball than we have it taking care of the ball. We still had 15 turnovers, but in my mind it was really 12. We had some that were, it's still a turnover, but some that were just like one of those that like, duh, I shouldn't have, you wish you could just rewind it, right away. So those are the things you have to be attention to the scouting report. We had to handle the pressure, and it was helpful that we were able to, do the things that I thought we could maybe do, which was take advantage of the looks inside. And then our outside game was pretty doggone good, too.
All right, dare I bring up last week at Maryland, was it 17, with a little over 3 minutes to go? Maybe less than that, doesn't matter. But so how do you it's hard to stem the flow. I've been on the road enough in 50 years of doing basketball games to know you're playing good teams, they can put a run on you.
Yeah, and, it was interesting when we got up that much. It lasted, that 17 points was about 40 seconds, right? And then it went back goes from 17 to about 13, right? 12 even, I think. And I watched that thing 3 times, right? Because your mind, you're like, God, what did I do wrong? Did I not slow the run? Did I not call a timeout? You know, all the things. First off, Maryland, if you look at their game against Minnesota, the true fans, women's basketball fans, I was watching that game, and I turned their game off 3 times. They were down 8 points with 7 seconds. They won the game. Right? They won the game. It was crazy. So I turned it off. I was watching football, and I was looking at my phone on ESPN, and then it'd be like the game was still going on, and Maryland's down 4 with 3 seconds. Maryland's at whatever it was, and I was like, I turned it back on. They came back and won in overtime. So when we went up, I was like, Brenda Freese she's a heck of a coach, right? So I knew we weren't going to, just scot-free. But when I watched it, we were still up 9 with 37 seconds. I'd called a timeout. We slowed it, and then it was like a perfect storm. And I did not put us in good enough situations to handle pressure earlier. We blew the press break at the end. Hannah forgot she could run the break, but Hannah knows that. But I have not done a good job practicing pressure. We blew the break that I wanted to run. A couple times players didn't run the right. So that happens, bing, bang, bing, right? So I knew, oh, man, I just should have practiced more pressure situations. But I also think it's really arrogant to think that it was everything we did wrong. Maryland needed to do a lot right. Mm-hmm. Maryland needed to put the pressure on. They needed to get a steal. They needed to go down. They needed to hit shots. So Maryland was doing things that Maryland is capable of doing. And when those things happen, when there's an amazing shift in momentum and that type of thing happens, it's not just typically one team. One team has to be superior. The other team had to blow it a little bit. So I chose after that game to look at the glass half full, where everybody else, that's what's fun about sports. You sit on your armchair quarterbacking and you're like, what the hell? That was terrible, blah, blah, blah. What I learned was we went into that overtime, and I had a moment to say to myself, how do I want to respond? Do I want to go crazy and can't believe that this is how we ended this game? Or do I want to treat this as a 5-minute game? And it was a 5-minute game, and I wanted to remind them that we won that game for 37 minutes. We were in control. So do we want to be the 37-minute team, or do we want to be the 3-minute team?
On the road.
On the road.
Place to play. And
so when they responded like that, I think that's something we can draw on. This minute, that minute, the future is that we can say, hey, we're a pretty resilient bunch.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, because that'll help you down the road.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You bet.
And I think it helped us yesterday.
No doubt.
I mean, I just you can blow it as a coach, and you can lose your mind, and then all of a sudden you lose your confidence, you lose a game, and then all of a sudden you lose the one you shouldn't have. And so I was, trying to just channel my inner composure. And so I just think it's helpful if you just kind of, life is like that. If you just kind of try to hold the moment and that was unlucky, I blew it, but not beat yourself up too much. If you can hit that balance, then tomorrow can usually be better. And our tomorrow was that overtime.
Well, that overtime was impressive.
It was, yeah. I was proud of them. Heck yeah.
Most
absolutely.
teams, if they lose an 18-point lead, they're ready to go to the locker room.
Especially Maryland scored first. And I hate when I read little stats when it says the team that scores first usually wins 97% of the time, and you're like, damn it,
hey, go 3%.
And then I was like, they scored, and I'm like, stop it, stop the thinking, stop the percentages, and then I just stayed in the moment, right?
Isn't it great to know you're part of the 3%? Came back.
Let's go.
Here we go to Facebook coach. Is all the best to Taylor McCabe after that injury she sustained. Is she allowed to travel with the team?
Yeah, she is. Yep, and she'll travel with us to California, and we'll probably have, when that knee settles down, we'll get surgery after that.
Mike from Cedar Rapids. Coach, what has impressed you most about how this team has grown since the start of Big Ten play? Here you are halfway through the Big Ten season.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think their resilience. I just think they're open to learning. They're eager. They show up every day. And I think the ways that we've won this year, we've had some stressful situations. We've had some big time. And we played at Rutgers. Boy, that was a 40-plus point win. So they've won different ways. And they've showed up every day, and they're just a really good team to coach. So I think I'm really most proud of their togetherness and their resiliency.
Coach, we just talked about the Maryland game, but I see Chris from Bettendorf has a question that pertains to that. Coach, when a team makes a big run against you, when you look your players in the eye, what's the first thing you want from them? What's the first thing in terms of stemming the toe or stemming the flow or the tide that you want to see out of your kids?
A steely gaze.
Not a
deer in headlights.
Not a glass over.
Yeah. I mean, over the years, you see it. Like, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you. I mean, sometimes you see a deer in headlights look, right? But when you see a steely gaze, that's just like they're almost mad. They're kind of like they're leaning into the huddle, and they're kind of willing to take whatever you give them. Whether you're like, what the heck's happening, blah, 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 that they sit there and be like, yeah, we don't know what the heck's happening, like versus like, we don't know, and they're leaning back. I like to see them lean in and be like, hell if we know. Yeah. What do you want us to do, right? And when I see that, then I'm like, game on. And that's what this team has given us. And over the years, I mean, you see it all. And then you got to, even when you see deer in headlights, you got to figure it out. You got to have a sub. You got to figure out a play that's going to get them clicked. But when I saw that huddle, it was just kind of like, and it was Taylor McCabe and Kylie Feuerbach, I remember, they were so perturbed. I mean, that's the word. I mean, you could just see them like beyond mad. And I looked at Hannah, and Hannah just looked like she was almost rolling her eyes like, we got this. And I felt better about it. I did. I felt like, okay, they are with me in this. So that's what you hope to see. But I'm telling you, you'll see it all. And you'll see it all in different eyes. And I'm really big on the eyes. And I tell my staff all the time. And I told them at halftime, you asked my staff, I said, they seem complacent. I looked at their eyes. I don't see that. And then I had to call a timeout in that third quarter. Uh-huh. And I said, listen, this team, they come back. And then we kind of got righted the ship. We went back up. So I think eyes are very big to me.
The eyes have it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were looking at you, say, okay, call us SOBs.
Nice.
We're going to go out
play.
and win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Well, on that note, we'll take a break, Coach.
All right.
And
that sounds
come back
good.
in just a couple minutes on Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen. Iowa, USC. We'll get the scouting report on Southern Cal when we come back as the Hawks head west. The ladies and the men head west this week to resume Big Ten action. Hey, this Valentine's Day, why not come to the Hyatt Regency? Treat your special someone to a romantic evening at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar, where we are located right now. Enjoy an elegant 3-course dinner featuring your choice of prime rib or Atlantic salmon, a cherry kiss salad, and a chocolate-covered strawberry for just $39.99 a person. Each table is welcome with a glass of champagne and a long stem rose, setting the tone for an unforgettable night. Reservations are limited, so visit their website at watermillkitchen.com to reserve your spot. Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen is presented by Oak Knoll. We're live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar from Learfield, and we're back with more of your questions and comments and more from Coach Jensen right after this on Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Dives for lunch.
The Juicy Lucy. Essentially, it's a burger, but with cheese on the inside.
James Beard Award winners for dinner.
French technique, but Midwestern ingredients. It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Celebrate the legendary Donnie Baker with a night of non-stop laughs at the Donnie Baker Ron Sexton Memorial Tour, coming to Riverside Casino and Golf Resort. On Friday, January 30th, hear fellow Bob and Tom Show comedians Bob Zaney, Greg Hahn, and Kostaki Economopoulos share outrageous stories and never-before-heard moments from the road. Purchase your tickets for this heartfelt and hilarious tribute now at riversidecasinoandresort.com or stop at our gift shop. It's going to be a night of laughs you won't forget.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listened. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Save time when you shop online with Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee makes it easy to order groceries online through our app or Hy-Vee.com. Pickup is always free. And if you have a Perks Plus membership, you get free delivery and free express pickup. Shop online with Hy-Vee and you can create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Talk about convenience. Order groceries online today. Check out Hy-Vee.com or download the Hy-Vee app.
In Minnesota, we don't hide from winter. We embrace it. When there's a nip in the air, we take on the trails. For every layer you wear, there's a new experience waiting for you.
It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, presented by Oak Knoll, live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar in Learfield. Hawkeye senior Hannah Stolke today was named the Jersey Mike's Naismith Player of the Week. Hannah led the Hawks to 3 wins. Yeah, give it up for Hannah. 3 wins over top 15 opponents in 3 consecutive regular games. Michigan State, 15th ranked Michigan State, Maryland, and then 12th ranked Ohio State. The Cedar Rapids native averaged 17 points and 12 rebounds per game and shot 55% from the floor in that stretch. She is a special player, a very unique player, and congratulations to Hannah Stolke. Iowa leaves for the West Coast here in the next day or so. They'll head out to USC and then drive up to Pauley Pavilion to take on UCLA later in the week. But for now, we're talking about the Southern California Trojans. Competitive, but they're struggling for consistent wins in this tough Big Ten conference. They've had multiple close losses to ranked teams. But they're showing fight and tenacity, Coach Jensen. Their record really doesn't reflect the talent on that team. Of course, we all watched, speaking of knee injuries, Juju Watkins go down with that very light contact, if at all, last year in the tournament, right prior to the tournament. And she's been out the rest of the season last year and most of this year. So our scouting report on Southern Cal is brought to you by Civco. Precision matters most when your loved one is undergoing an invasive procedure. For over 40 years, Civco has been a trusted provider for image-guided procedures, counted on to deliver outstanding service and superior quality around the world. Civco, C-I-V-C-O, medical solutions, making image-guided procedures safer, and that's important. So take us through the USC scouting report. What jumps out at you first, Coach?
Well, you know, they're 3-6, so everybody thinks, oh, you're going to be fine. Well, they start 3 McDonald's All-Americans, and they've lost their last 4 games or 5 by 4 points or under, and they're very dangerous. And they have a nice inside game. They don't average a lot of points, but they're really tall and athletic. They have actually Jazzy Davidson is one of their best players. And she played on, was a teammate of both Ava Hayden and Addie Deal. She's from Oregon. She was on Ava Hayden's AAU team for 2 years, and then she shifted and went to play for a Cal team, and that was at Addie Deals. So we tried to get the scouting report on her with them. But she's a really, really great player. So they're younger, a couple of them. So we're going to have to handle motion offense. They're very aggressive on the ball defense. They typically play player to player. So we need to take care of the ball, and we need to defend a three-point shot with the kid that comes off the bench with Jazzy Davidson. And they have a great the defensive player of the year in the Big Ten. Her name is Kennedy Smith. She's a sophomore. So we need to pay special attention to them. And I think we just have to stay in our lane. The noise outside, the negative and the good, that can mess with you. Mm-hmm. We just need to stay who we are and play hard. And now we have another challenge, certainly being without Taylor. And I think that needs to be mentioned. I'm really excited we have a kid like Addie that can really go right into that starting lineup. But when you lose a senior leader that could also drill a three at nearly 40 to 45%, 50% at Maryland, that definitely takes a strategy, little cog out of your wheel. So we're going to have to ask other people to step up, but hopefully they will.
Kara Dunn, she's an offensive threat anywhere on the floor, really.
She sure is.
She's been there. She's a veteran, and so you got to deal with her as well.
Yep, and ironically, Kara Dunn was teammates with Chit-Chat Wright last year at Georgia Tech.
No kidding.
So they are now have a little bit of they were friends, right? But I think there's a friendly rivalry, and I know the players were talking about that a little bit. But she's a really nice player. She's a forward. She can play inside or outside. And I think their last 3 or 4 games, she's actually been the leading scorer. And she's Hannah will have that assignment to start off.
They love to turn you over and then run out for freebies at the other end.
They do, and they're really long. They can put their center on the ball, and she's like 6'3" or one of their power forwards. So we're going to have to continue handling the press break pretty well, and we're going to need to continue scoring against that defense as well. But Hannah Stalkey and Kylie Feuerbach, they set the tone for us defensively, and they're both going to be on their best, inside kid and their best perimeter kid.
Kylie with 8 points yesterday and a tighter career high 9 assists.
I know.
She's
how
so
great was
important
that?
Going forward.
She is. That kid is. I said it. I've been saying it. She is glue. She's our fixer. She understands it, and I think now people are understanding just how important she is to this ball club. And I just get to coach some really great kids, and Kylie is head of that list.
Hawks at USC. You can hear it with Rob and Catherine on the Hawkeye Radio Network coming up later this week. We'll tell you times and dates in just a minute. We have to take another break here and come back with more on Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen right after this pause on Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Despite the unshakable Iowa-Corn Cy-Hawk rivalry, there is one thing Iowa State and University of Iowa fans can both agree on: getting hyped for Unleaded 88. It's cleaner burning and better for your engine, and it's cheaper than other fuel options, making Unleaded 88 the clear fuel choice. If Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk rivals can agree on it, you know it's worth the hype. So pump it up with Unleaded 88, grown by Iowa corn farmers.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Ben McCullum. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listened. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
All right, we just got a couple minutes left here in our Hawk Talk program with Coach Jensen. We've been brought to you tonight by University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, proud to be the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye women's basketball all season long, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Learn more at UIowaEnergyCollaborative.com. That's UIowaEnergyCollaborative.com. Well, I think our first date has gone well tonight, Coach.
I'll date you again.
Absolutely.
Are you going to take me to Joseph's next time?
Joe's Steakhouse?
Joseph's downtown.
Yeah, I have Joseph's Steakhouse.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll meet you there. You pick up the tab.
I'm not sure I'll get past the bar, but
okay.
If I get to the table, just wait for me. I'll be there.
Okay.
Hey, good luck. The Hawks play USC on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock start time, 7:30 for the pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. And all the best going forward. Coach, give Taylor our best, please.
I definitely will. And thank you. It was great. You're the best. And
Coach
thank you
Jensen,
all for coming. We love you guys.
Thank you, Hawk fans.
And thanks for the crowd yesterday. You guys are the best. God bless you. Go Hawks.
Tavion Banks will be here on the Ben McCullum Show. I'm coming right back for another 90 minutes, so hang around. The bar's open. This is Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen from Learfield.
Dives for lunch.
The Juicy Lucy. Essentially, it's a burger, but with cheese on the inside.
James Beard Award winners for dinner.
French technique, but Midwestern ingredients. It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
At MidAmerican Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Go for the big Honda savings. Save thousands on the new Honda today with 0.99% financing. Go for the selection and inventory. Honda cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs are on sale. Get as low as 0.99% APR on a new 2025 Ridgeline. Go for the most Car and Driver 10 Best Awards with 98 trophies. Search your local Honda dealer today. See dealer for financing details. Financing on credit approval offer ends 3/2/26.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to Wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
Hawkeye fans, gear up for game day with Big Grove. As an official craft brewery of the Iowa Hawkeyes, they bring you the ultimate game-watching experience. Sip on fan favorites like Easy Eddie, Citrus Surfer, and Neighborhood Beer while cheering on the Hawks. Can't make it to the stadium? No worries. Join them at any of their 4 Iowa locations in Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and Solon. Big Grove Brewery, your official watch party headquarters of the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks!
In Minnesota, we don't hide from winter. We embrace it. When there's a nip in the air, we take on the trails. For every layer you wear, there's a new experience waiting for you.
It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, this has been Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Oak Knoll, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City community for 59 years. Also brought to you by Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by your local Ford dealers. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.